Greetings, fellow humans. Welcome to Sam and Max Hit the Books. I'm Max.
I'm Sam.
And we are here to talk about the comics that came out on April 17th, 2019. Sam, what are we starting with?
We're starting with Chapter 2 of Little Bird by Darcy Van Polgeest, Ian Bertram, and Matt Hollingsworth.
Matt on colors, always good.
And so in this one, we find out a little bit about what the society is really like, heavily controlled under the Christian Church.
Right, yeah, this new Vatican that with this guy in charge,
And we find out about a secret plot to upgrade humans in the past that resulted in immortals like the Axe from last issue, who got shot many holes in his body, and he lived. And we find out that Little Bird's mother was also one of these special people who can't die, so she's alive somewhere, and we see that she's in captivity now.
Right, yeah. We should mention that at the end of the last issue, Little Bird got killed.
Right, Little Bird got killed. So
but this issue begins all from her perspective.
Yeah.
Post-death.
And reawakening, digging herself out of her grave. And it was a pretty good issue. I liked the art in this one, consistent with the last one.
Knocking out of the park, man. That dude draws tubes and guts and things like that.
Yeah, and like this eyeball world that they're in one part is awesome.
The angelic eyes.
Yeah, the right, it is, because it's got like the staircase that's also wings.
Exactly. Yeah, this is some really cool page composition happening.
Yeah, I really appreciated that.
Yeah, it's interesting that they really just gave us almost the whole backstory already in issue 2.
Yeah, exactly. Issue 1's like, here's the beginning, and this one, here's why.
Yeah, which makes perfect sense. I don't know why more comics don't do it exactly like this, especially for a short, limited series.
Well, it's true. I already feel like, I'm invested in this story now. I know what's going on. I know what's happening, and I've been surprised already.
Right. It's such a great hook to end the first issue with a death that looks completely irreversible. And then this one leads you off with, here she is. Now you want to know what's happening.
Right. Turns out lots of death is reversible now. And
how about their communicator that's almost a Star Trek transporter, but it just makes another you.
Yeah, out of tentacles.
Out of tentacles at a destination place, but you're still there on the other side. And it's like a physical hologram. Which, that was some fun stuff.
Yeah, these guys got some evil looking technology.
So evil looking. And the evil son who's got some sort of disease.
Right.
Has the creepy Hannibal Lecter mask with some tubes. So many tubes everywhere. Always tubes. Tubes and guts.
Yeah, that's true. It's creepy.
What would you give it?
I'd give it 7.
I think 7's right for this. Well above average. I'm really enjoying this series. The art is knocking it out of the park. Yeah. I don't know if it's amazing yet.
Maybe not yet.
But it's very good.
Yeah, it's definitely more than I expected.
Yeah,
off the get-go.
You're interested to see where the story's going to go. And I did find out that this is a 5-issue series, so we're going to see relatively quickly.
Yeah, it's moving right along.
So, next up we've got the 3rd issue of Star Trek The Q Conflict, and boy, oh boy, let me tell you, I did not like this issue nearly as much as the first 2.
I had some problems with this issue.
I had some serious problems with, how talky the beginning was. I know it's Trek, but man, they're standing around and talking, and I don't know if everybody is quite in character. Everybody kind of seems to have a very similar voice to each other.
And I thought they nailed Cisco at one point pretty well. But I didn't like them talking about Q and saying that he is definitely a child.
Right. Yeah, Q is such an overt villain now as of this issue. It seems like he's bullying the other 3 omnipotent races.
Right. He had a problem with them, so he destroyed some suns.
Yeah, there better be some sort of twist to Q's game plan here. Because I'm not liking how overtly aggressive he is.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
But when Trelane is doing his things, though, and changing the game from Capture the Flag, that was funny. When they started playing Capture the Flag and actually showed the flags on the video, the flags are so big! But they didn't do anything with that. I couldn't think of anything fun to do with Capture the Flag, so they immediately turned it into a space battle.
Yeah, well, it makes me wonder what a really good artist could do with a tractor beam and a flag in space.
And they were brushing right up against doing some cool things, because they have the bit where, because the ships should really be doing, very different jobs. And, they mentioned, Voyager's speed and maneuverability is really going to be an advantage in this. But then, it doesn't really come up.
Well, it doesn't do anything with it.
The only thing that comes up is the quantum torpedoes, and it is funny when Original Enterprise has to tow the Defiant around, because the Defiant got taken out almost immediately.
Yeah.
But it's got the quantum torpedoes, so he's got to kind of drag it. I mean, there's some fun things happening here, but meh.
Right. Well, we don't get much of the usual cast doing stuff.
There aren't as many fun character interactions.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all just here's an action thing, and weirdly under other circumstances that would be good. But the previous issue did such a much better job of having, the characters doing their own special things the way that they should do them.
Right. Now they're all just totally used to each other.
Right. And so, the teaser at the end of this issue is that next up we're going to do something with the Prophets. And going based on that pattern, it seems like each issue is going to do one thing that's, specific to one of the four shows. The first issue, or the first one was Iconian Gateway. And so that's next gen. And then this issue was that big original series, Planet Eater.
Oh, yeah.
And then next issue is going to be the Prophets doing something, although I'm very curious to see how involved the Prophets can be with any of this. We're seeing the Prophets interact with Q.
Right.
So I'm assuming that the issue after that will be something from Voyager. What's it going to be? Is it going to be the Borg? Is it going to be Species 8472? Is it going to be the Vidians?
Is it going to be the Cradle from the beginning that whisked Voyager out?
The Caretaker, right? How many episodes did these guys really watch? Because this is all very early season stuff.
That's true.
Probably
not going to be getting no Herodians.
Yeah, I know. Herodian seems iffy. I mean, I could see it, but yeah, the Crenum.
Oh, yeah.
So, I give it a 5.
Well,
I neither loved it nor hated it.
Yeah, 5 sounds about right. It was alright. Next up, we got the newest issue of Tom King's Batman with...
Yannick Paquette.
Yannick Paquette.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. None of this is his fault.
No, and that's what I want to talk about, because this is all just Bruce is in a dream, and he's dancing with Catwoman in his dream, talking about the dreams he's had in his dream. But the art is so good, because there's this whole musical background thing that goes throughout the entire issue, and we get a little bit of it in lyrics in the first page and the last page, but then to keep it going for the rest of the pages, it's just something that's following Bruce and Batman, Catwoman around as they're dancing through the pages, but it's always present in the background.
And they're rotating through costumes.
Right, as they're rotating through costumes. They're dancing through the street in this full page, and it's just them spinning around each other, but the street they're dancing on is musical lines.
It's musical. I didn't even notice that particular aspect.
Yeah, no, I really liked this page. So that's really all there is to talk about, other than the fact that Thomas Wayne is sparring with a naked Bane in this issue for just as the B plot, and it's weird.
yeah, it's weird because Thomas Wayne, you really can stand up to Bane like that?
Right, and be all like, I'm Batman, but I'm better because I'll use a gun because I win.
Right, yeah, because he's Dark Flashpoint Batman.
Oh, man.
And yeah, Bane's super naked the whole time.
He's super naked. It's weird.
Yeah, and I definitely read the twist ending. I figured it out early when he was like, oh, my greatest fear. What is my greatest fear that I'm going to have to face? And it's going to involve you. And I was like, oh, great.
I don't even really consider that a twist.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But yeah, I guess technically this was the best issue of all of these Nightmares issues.
Yeah, well, mostly just because that art is so good.
Because the art is so good, and there's pages of things happening that's not just weird nightmare stuff. We actually have, like, the plot is suddenly crystal clear. Like,
Right,
everything
yeah.
that's happening is, like, suddenly snapped into sharp focus in
That
issue
is true.
69.
That's a good point. Overall, I give it a 6, though.
A 6.
Yeah.
6.
Yeah, a 6 for that wonderful, wonderful art and little bit of plot.
Yeah, I think this is a 5 for me.
Yeah.
It's still the best Nightmares issue, and yeah, the art is, it really lifts it up.
Oh, yeah, all those purples and blues.
I feel like other artists that we've been seeing in this run would have made more of these pages, like just single page art with all of the dialogue and boxes over it, and Paquette really like knocked all those others out of the water with that. He's like, nah,
Yeah.
we'll do a full page montage of poetry and conversation, but like there's gonna be so many things on that page.
Right, every single one that's in Bruce's dream is like a full thing, and then it only cuts back to just being straight panels when you're in the Bane Thomas parts.
All right, moving right along to the third issue of Transformers. Creative team here is Brian Ruckley with art by Angel Hernandez and Cache Whitman. This issue picked up the story a little bit. We got to see what apparently is the formation of like our initial, what's going to be like the Decepticons.
Right, yeah, definitely.
But man, then the issue never goes back to them.
No. The rest of it's rubble.
And the rest of it's rubble, and we get a little Optimus talking to Freud, who I always like the joke of the chief Autobot psychologists from the previous era of Transformers, where they were Freud and Rung.
Nice.
But so I'm sure Rung is going to show up, and I'm almost sure that Rung is the person that they're talking about when Freud is like, if you'd let me just talk to the sky, and Optimus is like, we're never letting you talk to that guy again.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Won't be surprised. I did kind of like the bit where Bumblebee was talking about that one Cybertronian who decided to be like a matter processor thing all the time. And
Leviathan.
Oh, yeah. Which that's cool. I like the idea that there's going to be Transformers who decide to be just like, I'm just going to be a machine. I'm just going to be an appliance.
Yeah.
It was a little weird to see them bring in the bot that's like the autistic one.
Yeah, a little weird.
We'll see where that goes, because there's a chance that could become a really cool story element of like how a robotic being would be this way. On the other hand, it could just be like, oh, this isn't handled well.
Right. This autistic consultant.
Yeah, he's really smart, but he won't work with Prowl, and he always needs to see his shapes. He's got a square, a triangle, and a circle, and he carries around in a bag, so I guess he can move from place to place without needing to look at them. But then he needs to set him down in a room. And I got to be honest, if I'm a Cybertronian with a mental condition like that, I might just fuse those shapes right to my arm.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But it was interesting-ish. And then we get a weird last page thing where Optimus goes and talks to the Three-Eyed Raven.
Yeah.
This like Cybertronian, like a giant Cybertronian that is like built into like some tree-like cable viney things in an ice wall.
Codexa.
And there's even like other ones outside of the chamber she's in that are just like laying in the wall and kind of plugged into everything.
Right, probably also part of Codexa.
It's all very Borgy, like, in a way.
This one hive mind of Cybertron.
This issue could have been better. Like, it's taking way too long for anything really exciting to happen.
Right.
It's such a slow burn to war actually starting, and they're making such a big deal of like, oh yeah, we don't have war. Like, it's weird for a Cybertronian to meet an early death. Like, even having one murder is super weird, and nobody knows how to deal with it.
Right, and then suddenly it's going to be war and death everywhere.
Maybe this is such a reboot that it's going to be like a slow downfall of society, and it's going to be Autobots and Decepticons and like fighting each other in a smaller guerrilla. But I can't see them doing anything that interesting. I'd give this one a 6.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'd give it a 6. That's pretty good. Moving on, we got the newest Legion of Doom
Yes, Legion of Doom rather than Justice League.
James Tynion IV. And
Francis
Manapul.
What issue Justice League is this? 22.
22. And this one is the history of Perpetua. She created the World Forger and the Anti-Monitor and the Monitor. And created humans and stuff.
So I've got to ask you, how familiar are you with the Monitor and the Anti-Monitor?
I'm not too familiar. I know they existed. I know Batman ran into at least the Anti-Monitor at the end of time, I believe.
That may have happened at some point. Yeah. Because, they were the big deal behind like the original Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I was
I vaguely remember that.
Somebody who's less like into all the crap they've done with these characters like took all of the revelations in this issue. Did it seem like a big deal? Or was it just like,
Yeah, it just seemed like, okay, this is where they started, and that's what the source wall was for. And
that was interesting to find out what the source wall really... I mean, we knew it was a prison of source already, obviously, but like seeing it was weird to me just how blatantly this issue went ahead and spelled everything out for us all of a sudden.
Right. Perpetua created extra life and wanted it to rise up and flourish without having to come to a death, and I guess increase her power along the line somehow, so that she could go up against the creation.
Yeah, it's interesting how her motivations to me are still unclear. It's like, did she go crazy? Like, did she have a plan? Was that plan to get infinite power? Or did she only start trying to amass power once she knew that her creation was going to be destroyed and she was truly benevolent?
Right, because those human Martians
right.
before they were split, and it seems like she made them to be her army for some reason.
Right, because Hawk God was going to come and kill everything, and she wanted some warriors.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool, and now she's awake again, and Luther, she's doing his bit as her champion.
Yeah, because during this time, while she's like monologuing the story for us to herself, Luther and Legion of Doom have gone to where Mixospitlick is raving destruction.
Right.
And you know what? I love Manapul. I love Manapul's art on this issue. I don't know if he nailed Mixospitlick is like erasing reality, because there's like nothing in the art that indicates he's doing anything but like being big and scary.
Yeah, that's true.
But I am excited to see him fight Batmite, who the Legion somehow captured.
Right, somehow.
Captured Batmite.
Yeah, that's just a hand wave. We just happen to have Batmite.
Oh, they're going to explain how they got Batmite.
Yeah. So overall, I thought it was a pretty enjoyable issue.
I liked it a lot.
Stuff's really going on.
Yeah, I was pretty entertained. Good colors, good art,
yeah.
good story. Finally getting a lot of answers. Like, this was the first issue of Justice League that I felt like they crammed too much into the one issue. Instead of spoon-feeding it to us.
Yeah, that's fair. I'd give it a 7.
I think 7's right for this. Yeah, really solid. It did feel like a side issue, but that was on purpose, obviously. We're all excited to get back to the 6th Dimension antics. But,
oh, yeah.
Yeah, very good. All right. War of the Realms 2, where, a.k.a. just kidding, Odin is not even dead, and there's no drama about that.
Yeah, again.
Jason Aaron, Russell Dauterman, once again. Russell Dauterman's art is superlative.
Yeah,
it's wonderful.
I love the way he does this Punisher.
The Punisher, man, that is a beefy dude.
Yeah, that neck.
And Aaron's dialogue, I do like some of it. Like, I like the part where Wolverine says, "How are things with you, Frank?" And he goes, "I'm reloaded."
Yeah.
Yep, that is Punisher.
All right.
What I don't like it is when Wolverine's only character trait is reduced to "I like beer."
Yeah, because they do that twice.
I hate it. I don't know if that's a Jason Aaron thing specifically, or if that's a thing that several writers do, but this does seem to occasionally come up where Wolverine, and Jonathan Hickman does it too. I love Jonathan Hickman, but whenever he has Wolverine pop up and he needs him to do like one thing to define his character, he does the same thing. He's like, "Is there beer?"
Beer.
Yeah, in the Hickman Avengers, when they're recruiting Wolverine for the team, it's a full-page montage of what they're offering to all the heroes. Like, they tell Spider-Man, it's like, "We have money." And Spider-Man's like, "Oh, thank God." And then it gets to Wolverine, it's like, "We have beer." And he's like, "Say no more."
Yeah, that's something.
That's a little digression, but that's pretty annoying. I really don't like how seriously anybody was taking Jane Foster's going to go fight Malekith, because it seemed like Valkyrie brought her way too close to the battle.
Right, yeah.
It's like, why are you bringing Jane Foster into all this? Like, she's not powered right now. Like, she has just recovered from horrible cancer.
Yeah.
And it's fine. It was a lot of loud noise and a lot of we're going to break up into teams, and here's what all the tie-ins are going to be. Like, Spider-Man and you guys are going to go to this place and do this. And
I felt
Wolverine
that.
And you guys are going to go to this. And every time they did that, I felt like, read more in the pages of. And
yeah, I definitely felt that.
so I would say at this point that even though it hasn't happened yet, you can already feel the tension of all of the supporting stories pulling on the main book and pulling exciting things out of the main book so that they can happen in those side issues.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
But damn, Russell Donovan draws the hell out of like Odin leading the Valkyries.
Yeah, Odin's here. Yay!
Odin is here, and man, like, at first he's like, "I'm cool." I'm glad they at least later were like, "Man, you're stabbed to hell at the moment."
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fine. It looked really good. I think it's a 5.
Alright. Yeah, it did look really good. But I feel like it was a little too long. I'd also give it a 5.
It was too long for the amount of things that happened within it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And I guess we're supposed to feel it, that like all the Valkyries are dead now, I guess.
Right, yeah, that happens.
Yeah, exactly, it happens. So that's going to do it for this week's reviews. Thanks for checking us out this week, everybody. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll be back with more reviews in the very near future.
Stay classy.